Dear students and viewers, welcome to the session on the subject elements of mechanical engineering with the subject code 22 EME 13 or 23. It is a subject offered by the Visvesvaraya Technological University in the program Mechanical Engineering and its allied domains such as automobile engineering, industrial production and many such domains which are allied with mechanical engineering. During the previous session, I had given a brief insight on what is engineering, what it means to say by core branches of engineering, and what is mechanical engineering. A little introduction I had given, and I had also introduced to you the composition of the subject syllabus which has been given by the Visvesvaraya Technological University into this subject. We have 5 modules, and the outcomes, the learner who will be learning this subject, at the end of learning this subject, maybe during the end of this semester for the students, what outcomes they are going to attain, what is it that they are going to learn, that was also briefed during the last class. Now, let me straight away get into the module 1 of this subject, that is elements of mechanical engineering. As I had mentioned, and in continuation with the same, if we speak about this subject is elements of mechanical engineering, and it has got the basic elements of the entire branch of mechanical engineering. That is why it is called elements of mechanical engineering, that is EME. And then here in the module 1, we have got introduction to mechanical engineering. As you can see here, module 1 through module 1, we are going to learn what is mechanical engineering, an introduction, a brief insight, or what we can say a preamble to mechanical engineering. Then we will also be learning what is steam and how steam is formed, what are the properties of steam, and we will also be learning on what is energy, what are the various sources of energy, and renewable sources of energy, non-renewable sources of energy. In non-renewable sources of energy, we will be focusing more on 3 of the most important sources of energy, renewable sources of energy, that is solar, wind and tidal energy. Now, let me begin with the first topic, that is introduction to mechanical engineering into this module, that is module 1. Mechanical engineering is the branch of engineering which deals with design, development, manufacturing and maintenance of mechanisms and other structures. That is what is mechanical engineering is all about. If we talk about the definition. Now, if we try to know in little more detail about mechanical engineering and its application range from the smallest use that a common man will have to the space shuttle and space explorations level. Everything that you use, everything that is physical in nature, starting from a small pin or a chalk piece, what we normally used to teach and learn, till the space shuttle applications, it is completely mechanical engineering. Every physical object that will be transformed from the way in which it exists in nature to the way in which the people use, be it for individual purposes, be it for societal purposes, be it for space explorations, whatever, it is mechanical engineering. And the scope of mechanical engineering too wide. Now, considering this, if we try to discuss what is the role of mechanical engineering in industry, in society, and what is the scope of mechanical engineering, if we try to know, we have just highlighted some of them. Whatever we have enlisted over here are under industry, society and scope, they are more or less not even 1 or 2% of the scope and applications of mechanical engineering. Considering this, one can estimate what must be the role play of mechanical engineering in our daily life. Everything that we use, everything that we make use of, and everything that we work with will be a mechanical engineering. Be it a knife that the women use in their kitchen, be it a screwdriver that the mechanics use in their workshops, be it an engineer working in an industry, be it the automobile that you drive or ride, be it a locomotive in which you travel, be it a flight in which you fly, be it the pharmaceutical company, be it a kitchen application in the hotels wherein the boilers are used, be it the power generation application wherein a turbine is used to generate electrical energy from mechanical energy from water resources or and so on, or maybe the solar grid wherein the solar energy is collected by the collector and then used for power generation purposes or for heating the water. Everywhere you will find the applications of mechanical engineering only. So, when such is the role play of mechanical engineering, what I can say predominantly and very prominently that mechanical engineering is an inevitable branch of engineering for the human survival. As long as we survive, as long as this universe has to work with, mechanical engineering and its application will always be the important integral of this society. Considering this, let me try to highlight what are the various fields in which mechanical engineering is used or what are the roles that the mechanical engineering play in industry. See, industry is the place where it is a systematic organization of human resources with all the equipment and instrumentation and infrastructure so that a raw material could be transformed into a finished product that can be sold in the market or that can be used by the consumer or customer or a common man. Only thing is, it will be produced not just in the numbers 1 or 2 or so, it can be produced in most of the cases, it will be produced in terms of lots of parts, commodities or products from one particular place. That is what is an industry. So, industry is the organized place where it is an organized setup of human resources with the required expertise and the machine or equipment or instruments with which it is possible to produce a product or the part for the purpose of business in the market or maybe for the purpose of service to the society. So, considering this, an industry will have several sectors, be it any kind of a product, Some of the very important roles that the mechanical engineering is going to play in the industry is planning, how the commodity, how the part or how the component has to be produced. I will take one simple example. You just take the example of an automobile, a two-wheeler. Then if a two-wheeler has to be produced, a two-wheeler will not have the components only from one single industry. They will have only few components to be produced in their industry and then rest of the components, if suppose a small understanding if we try to develop, then if a two-wheeler has got 1000 components into it or 1000 parts into it, then only about a dozen parts will be produced by the copyright industry, whereas rest of the parts will be given to the subcontractors, wherein they will produce and they will be producing it to the satisfaction of the core industry, and they will be taking those components and assembling them into a two-wheeler and or four-wheeler or six-wheeler, whatever, and sending it to the market. Now, considering this, planning has to be performed. A mechanical engineering will play a very vital role in planning the production or carrying out day-to-day activities within the industry. So, mechanical engineers are very good at planning. In fact, I should tell that they overtake any other branch person when it comes to mechanical, when it comes to planning, because of the way in which they will have got educated and because of the way in which they would have been working in their experiences with the man and material and machines. And then mechanical engineering is required to design any product. It does not straight away come from the machine. It has to be designed based on any physical commodity, what should be the material. If some product has to be manufactured, maybe a mobile phone, if it has to be manufactured, say for example, mobile phone is not produced by the electronics, or mobile phone is not produced by the software industry. Electronics is going to install automation into it, and software industry is going to write the softwares for working of that particular automation, whereas the basic structure, the component, the device of mobile phone will be manufactured, designed, planned, produced, and checked for its quality by mechanical engineering industry only. Considering this, the design of the product, be it a mobile phone, it has to be designed before it is taken up for production purpose, it has to be designed. So, designing has to be taken up, and there where again the role of mechanical engineer comes into play. What design considers what the size, the shape, the geometry, the thickness, the material, then how it is going to be produced, what should be the strength, everything is to be designed, and that designing is going to be carried out by the mechanical engineer only. Then once it is designed, the product has to be produced. How will the product be produced? Product has to be produced with the help of machines. The material will be given, the raw material will be given, and the raw material has to be converted using any of the manufacturing processes, such as the material removal processes or material addition processes, or maybe the forming processes. Either of these three has to be used, and then the component has to be transformed from raw material stage to the finished product stage. So, that is what is called production. Again, only mechanical engineers can do it. Then the quality, only the mechanical engineers can check the quality based on the physical requirements of a particular product or part that is to be manufactured. That means, if any of the components are to be produced, then if the mechanical properties have to be tested, who will do it? Again, mechanical engineering comes into role play, like the tensile strength, compression strength. If a material has to be tested for its mechanical properties or physical strengths, then mechanical engineering will have to provide the answer for this. That is where the strength of the component or the part is to be tested. Even in civil engineering application also, the structures that they make, that is, while if you people have observed, while the RCC is being, concrete slabs are being put on, then you will find plenty of steel, and then before the steel is being used for laying down in the concrete slabs, it has to be tested for its tensile strength, compression strength and all. All this is again supported by mechanical engineers or mechanical engineering. So, for any kind of a product, be it a steel rod or maybe some component or maybe a carburetor of an automobile or maybe a mobile phone, its what I should say panel, everything has to undergo testing before it is released to the market or before it is assured that it is of good quality. And again, the answer to this testing is mechanical engineering. So, quality testing is also a very important integral of mechanical engineering. Then safety, one of the very important role that mechanical engineers do play is safety. Safety of the people. The helmets, if you would have observed, even in the construction industry, the big companies, I don't speak about the smaller contractors and all, but the big construction industries will, if you just look at the video or if you have observed them live, then you would see that starting from the engineers to the visitor onto the site, they will also be putting on the helmet. Then who will produce these helmets here? Again, those helmets will have been properly designed, produced and quality tested. Who will do this? Then again, it is the job of mechanical engineers. So, mechanical engineers will also be responsible for safety of the work area or maybe to the society. Then machines produce components, and then those machines which produce the component, they also undergo wear and tear. It is something like human body as well. When we are born, then absolutely every single organ will be 100% efficient, nothing will have happened. But as we start growing in our age, then obviously wear and tear would have taken away the accuracy of our organs, and then it will not be as efficient as we would be while we were born. Likewise, even in case of machines and all, the machines that we use for production purpose, the machines that we use for supporting any other kind of activity, over the period of time they get worn out. And obviously, they might be requiring maintenance in terms of replacement of components or repair of the components or maybe lubrication, oiling or many such requirements might be there. Again, for that, all that reason, to upkeep any equipment, be it the fan of your house, be it the mobile phone, be it the automobile, be it any machine that produces the components, every single such physical mechanism or product or the equipment or the instrument and has to be maintained. And again, that role is being played by mechanical engineering only. If you buy a two-wheeler, obviously, after every 2000 kilometers, you'll have to replace the engine oil, and where worn out parts have to be, all that scheduled maintenance as well as the breakdown maintenance. Whenever you require, you will have to maintain the component, maintain the two-wheeler, maintain the machine, maintain the equipment. Even if you have a washing machine at your house, even if you have a microwave oven, even if you have a gas stove, even that has to be maintained. Again, it is the role play of mechanical engineering which comes into play for helping out the maintenance of every single, whether it is domestic or industrial application. The maintenance is very, very important, and that is again one of the services that is offered by mechanical engineering branch only. Then procurement. Many of the times the raw material has to be procured so that the machine, the part or the component or the instrument or the equipment or the automobile can be manufactured. Then to procure the right quality of material so that you can make a good product or good quality product, again, if somebody is capable of doing it, again it is the individual who will have had the mechanical engineering knowledge. Again there the role of mechanical engineering comes into play for rescue. Then service industry. If you just take the example of any of the commodities nowadays, be it an automobile, be it home appliance, be it any machine that you procure and all, service is the must. And we very normally, we go through the reviews nowadays before we finalizing the purchase or finalizing which product has to be purchased. And how do we do it very normally? We look at not just about the purchase or procurement part, but we also look at what is the service after sales. How is the service? Do they support in servicing of any of the components that we will be purchasing? In such a case, service becomes very important. Again, service industry is more or less dominated by mechanical engineers only. Then sales, unless if I want to sell some component, because the non-physical commodities to be sold in the market are very few, very, very few. It may be simply like the medical transcription or something, but there are very few commodities which you can sell without having the physical existence of them. When physically existing commodities are to be sold in the market, obviously they must be explained, their details must be explained to the market or to the purchasers in such a way that all technical details and advantages, disadvantages and costing, everything need to be detailed properly to the people who will be showing interest in purchasing the product. In such a case, unless a person who is having technical knowledge about that physical object or commodity or instrument or equipment, until then many of the times if it is not a mechanical engineering, then obviously the person, the marketing person will fail to convince the customer. In such a case, again here, even in the department of sales in the industry, it is very essential that the mechanical engineering comes into role play for promoting the sales and developing it. Then research and development. Every day you are coming across new tools, every day you are coming across new instrument, every day you are coming across new equipment, and new launches have become very, very regular. Who will do this? Who will bring out? Nobody else but a mechanical engineering graduate. Because every commodity, every product, every instrument, every equipment has to have some development, some physical existence. Only physically existing mechanisms, devices, tools, instruments and equipments are to be sold in the market. And who will make this improvisation? The people who will do research and development. Who will be doing this research and development? Again, mechanical engineering comes into role play there. It is mechanical engineers who will do lot of research, continuous research, and bring about improvisation or modifications in the existing equipment, devices, instruments and appliances, or they will bring out or they introduce new devices, new equipment and new instruments to the world. This more or less will not be known to the people. Then again administration, because of the robust nature of the branch itself, because of the robust nature of the branch itself in mechanical engineering, people will have very good leadership skills. First of all, the compromises will be less, especially in mechanical engineering, because if the compromises are less, it will impact negatively. If the compromises are more, then it will impact negatively onto the product that we produce, and once it impacts negatively onto the products, when it is to be used by the society, it might become harmful for the society, injurious for the consumer asset. In such a case, because of that, what the nature of this branch itself will be little robust, little rigid in nature. We don't compromise the mechanical engineers on the quality, because everything will have, because if it is a software, then obviously there might be some problem in the program, you can debug it and you can resolve it. Whereas if it is a physical commodity, that's not going to be possible. Either the entire product has to be discarded or the improvisation has to be sought after. Considering this, while building the product itself, all compromises will have been eliminated, and the first priority for the product manufacturing and development will be the quality, safety and the cost that comes into picture there. So considering this, because of the robust nature and rigid and uncompromising nature of the branch, the administrative skill, the leadership skills with the mechanical engineers will also be good. Considering this, in the industry, if you just observe, the role of mechanical engineering can be seen in planning, design, production, quality, safety, maintenance, procurement, service, sales, research and development, as well as administration. Now, if we look at the again role of mechanical engineering in maybe the society, in the day-to-day society, where do you find the role of mechanical directly into the society? Even the industry is also a part of the society, but it categorizes in itself into the producers category. Now, let us see where all do we commonly see in the public places, where all do we see mechanical engineers onto the job. Some of them I have listed here: railways, 100% mechanical engineers application. From A to Z, it is mechanical engineering application. You will find plenty, hundreds and thousands of mechanical engineers in railways, either at the junior engineer level, engineers level, chief mechanical engineers level, regional managers level, wherever you go, at all levels of railways, you will find only mechanical engineers, more or less. Then you will find plenty of mechanical engineers and their applications in public works departments, that is PWD, wherein for these services of the society, the government or the administration will have formed public works department, wherein road laying, bridges and all of such uses will be there, all of such duties will have to be performed by the people over there, and more or less it will comprise of both civil and mechanical engineers in plenty. Then power generation, be it a waterfall, hydel power station, be it a small reservoir wherein the Kaplan turbine or Francis turbines might be used, all of those places for power generation purposes also, again it will have the combination of mechanical primarily, civil plus electrical engineers in application. So mechanical engineers again will have the opportunity, and they will be serving the society even for power generation purposes also, wherein turbines will be there, big structures will be there, gates will be there, the establishment, the commissioning, the maintenance and the continuous power generation will be taking place by the supervisory of mechanical engineers predominantly. Then irrigation purpose, the water has to be supplied to all possible corners of the farmlands especially. In such a case, in addition to civil engineering, the mechanical engineers will have huge role to play, because it is not just about planning. There is a wide range and a very big list of the equipments that will be used in the irrigation purposes. So if you just log on to irrigation equipment itself, you will come across plenty of them. If you just log on to If you just Google, say, role of mechanical engineer in irrigation services or irrigation work, you will come across a very big list of jobs that will be performed by mechanical engineers there also. Public transport, obviously all cars, all two-wheelers, all four-wheelers, all buses and all, they're all public transports. Again, public transports will be managed predominantly by mechanical engineers, maintained predominantly by mechanical engineers. And then water supply, without which this is one of the basic need for the humans. Again, water supply will also find lot of mechanical engineers in their role play, wherein they will be designing the plumbing lines, they will be designing, and they will be also checking the levels, they will be in association with civil engineer, they will be surveying the lands, and then wherever the upliftment has to be done, where pumps have to be installed, and where the water supply filters have to be involved, where the water cleaning systems have to be installed, all of them will be taken care by the mechanical engineers. So that is where again in the societal applications directly in the water supply board also, you will find plenty of roles being performed by mechanical engineers. Then again aviation services. Aviation predominantly is mechanical engineers role play. Why? Because starting from the flight till the mechanisms, engines, the material, every single component in the aircraft or aviation services is the application of mechanical engineers again. So that is offering huge services, especially in the global relationships and market and sales and services from our country. Aviation is offering a huge revenue to the country's development. Now, if you look at the scope of mechanical engineering, where all do you find if you aspire to become? This list suggests only very few of the arenas where the mechanical engineering or the scope for mechanical engineers can be seen. Whereas this list can be, even this entire board will prove to be very insufficient for enlisting where mechanical engineering finds its scope. A mechanical engineer can join aerospace industry, they can join automobile industry, they can join manufacturing industry for any product, because everything that you use physical, it is a product of mechanical industry. Then energy sector, wherein not just energy power generation, but also power supply, that is also a very important place or the area where the mechanical engineering finds its scope. Then marine industry, wherein the oceans can be explored by the engineers, again that finds a lot of mechanical engineers. Then mining industry, wherein either coal has to be dug out or maybe iron ore has to be digged up, and the gold or any of the metals or minerals have to be digged out, and in such a case mining has to be performed. Again in the mining industry, it is the role play of mechanical engineers. Then boilers and turbines. Boilers, nearly 50 to 70% of the industry uses boilers, so you will have plenty of scope. Turbines, again for power generation purposes, in the aerospace industry also, it is the turbine which will be converting any form of energy into the mechanical energy. So that is where even turbines will also be a very important and very widely used mechanical equipment or devices in the industry, in the public transport, in the aviation industry, in the mining industry, in the marine industry. Everywhere you will come across boilers and turbines very much in common. So you will have plenty of scope in boilers and turbines as mechanical engineers. Then nowadays again, if you would have observed, if you enter a hospital, medical application is one more very strong area for wherein the mechanical engineering graduates can find plenty of scope. Something like, if you enter a hospital, starting from a syringe, who will manufacture the sugar diabetic testing strips? Who will manufacture those instruments? Who will manufacture the pressure, blood pressure measurement device? Who will have manufactured the X-ray machine? Who will have manufactured CT scanning machine? Who will manufacture MRI? Who will have manufactured holo suits? And who will have manufactured the complete set of instruments or dissection instruments or surgical devices or instruments, who will do it? It is only, and who will have manufactured implants like cardiac implants or maybe any implants related to the orthopedic surgeries, and who will do it? And with what devices or what equipment they do it? If you enter orthopedic operation, then you will come across completely a small mechanical workshop existing over there. Only thing is, it will be totally hygienic. Otherwise, it is 100% the same as a mechanical workshop. The doctors use hacksaw, the doctors use drilling machine, the doctors use grinding machine, the doctors use screwdrivers, everything they will be using as if the mechanical engineers will be doing in the industry. Only thing is, they do it on humans, and here we people do it on the non-living objects such as metals and other objects. Whereas the instruments, the work that we do, it is more or less the same. So considering this, medical instrumentation has got plenty of applications from mechanical engineering. Then automation and robotics. Now it is this later part of the 20th century, 20th century and this 21st century beginning. So far, it can be considered as an era which is dedicated to automation and robotics, wherein man has been continuously striving to achieve more production, means production, very high production rate, and then man has been continuously striving to achieve higher accuracy. Man has been continuously striving to reduce the manpower costs, and he has been continuously striving to increase the accuracy to the better levels. So all this has led to a very revolutionary change in the industry, that is automation and robotics. Now what we people are trying to do in automation and robotics is, we are trying to get most of the work which otherwise will have to be carried out by humans. Obviously humans, when they do it, they can't be as accurate as the machine, and the humans can't be as fast as the machine. The production rate cannot be matched with the production rate from the machines. So considering these two advantages, the industry, more or less most of the industries have already gone on for automation. So considering this, again, who is responsible for automation again? And it is the era where hospitals are making use of robots to perform various operations. Automobile industry, especially the car manufacturing industry, for spot welding and all, in most of the car manufacturing industry, it is the robots who are doing or who are taking care of spot welding, painting workshops and all. So considering this, the automation and robotics is becoming a very, very explorable area for engineers, and again, it is the lobby of mechanical engineers. So considering this, and there are many, many, many more arenas. This is only a brief list what has been written over here on the board. Otherwise, if we start enlisting all the areas where the mechanical engineering has found its roles, is very important, both in the industry, society, and the scope where you can start exploring your careers. If you try to enlist it, the entire board will be very much insufficient. Considering this, what I can say for this topic, that is role of mechanical engineering in industry, society, and its scope, if we try to say, more or less, life means to say there should be mechanical engineering in role play. There is mechanical engineering in role play. That means everything, the moment we get up in the morning from our bed, from that point till we sleep in the night, we will be making use of one or the other device of mechanical engineering only. So such is the importance of mechanical engineering in the human life. Now, after that, the next topic is steam formation, and we will go ahead with the same. Thank you.